Hey guys, it's Avalon here. Welcome back to Simply Avalon, and today I have a review for Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Mist and Fury. Now, if you are not familiar with this series, this is the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and it is a fantasy novel that just falls into its own category, okay? There is no comparing this to Divergent or to The Hunger Games. This is a book by itself. I usually am hesitant about posting reviews on books where it's not even the first book in the series, and I haven't actually posted a review of the first book in the series, but this book, I finished this in a day, and this is 624 pages, perfection in a book. I don't even know how I finished it. So I hope that you've read the first book in this series, but if you haven't, that's okay. You can still watch this. I only expect to have a few tiny spoilers, but if that bothers you, which I mean for me it probably would bother me, then just go read the first book, come back to this video. I get you, it's okay. Let's just get started. So this book comes back and starts off right where we ended with Feyre. She is living in Tamlin's house. She is engaged. They are about to get married, and she is in this very depressed state, which I mean is not really surprising considering she killed a few Fey children. That was pretty bad, even if she was to save her love. So this book now starts with how she survived it, and I'm very, very happy with how Sarah J. Maas did not stick with the, okay, I'm depressed, so I'm going to stay depressed and not actually continue the storyline in this book, especially since this was 620 pages, so I mean, that would have been depressing. But she actually decided to continue on with the story, and Feyre, although she was hurting, she started to move on. And this is really, really apparent in a lot of the chapters. So either way, Tamlin has now become this serious control freak. And I mean, a lot of people who reviewed this book from the very get-go claimed that he was a control freak, even though I was, I'm gonna be totally honest, very blind to it. But now that we actually go into the story further, we hate him. I'm not sure how to explain it without spoiling it further, but Tamlin takes it a few steps too far. So as we also remember, leaving off on the first book, Rise, or the Fey Lord of the Winter area of Prytheria? Can't remember how to say this. But either way, Rhysand has now decided right on her wedding day, when she was literally whispering in her mind, someone help me, I'm about to say no to this guy because he's a douchebag. And he comes in and he's like, girl, I got you. I'm going in with my promise. I left you for 3 months, but now I'm taking you for that week that I promised you. Because you know, that's how we do things.
They continue on, and I'm just like, what the heck is happening? I thought you were with Tomlin.
And this is my disclaimer from right now. My mother tried to read this first book, and even she thought it was a little bit too risque for her. This is definitely a new adult book, even though I'm technically not even 15 yet. No one's counting. So, I mean, if you are not into, it's not even language, it's more that content, then I suggest you just pass this book. Just ignore this review, or even just listen to it. I'm not going to go into it that much. So, I mean, I wouldn't suggest anyone below 14. To be totally honest, I read this and I felt a little bit okay then. So I'd say anybody above 15 and older should probably read this book, or just anyone who's mature enough. Someone just pulled up into my driveway and I'm like, is this someone from my school? That's not okay. Bye. Is this how we do things in America now? No. So, continuing on my review. So when we first meet Rise in the first book, we think that he's some dark, mysterious character who, let's just be honest, he has that Tobias 4 thing going on where he's like, yeah, I'm too cool for y'all, but I'm also a really mean person deep inside. she was really trying to make him out to be like this ultra villain, and then we like actually see him in the second book and we're like, you actually have a heart. Like, this is the Malfoy that we wanted to see in an actual book. Like, and now we see like Rise and Feyre's relationship develop, and it's just like so amazing. I literally cannot even explain it without firstly spoiling things, and two, saying something that I just don't want actually mean, because there's no word that can explain how poetically she has actually explained their relationship in this book. So yeah, Tomlin's forgotten. No, you're not allowed to go for Feyre and Tomlin anymore. Like, no. Ugh, I hated the way that this book ended. But either way, I'm done going over the plot. I'm just gonna actually just say what I liked about it. One, I love the fact that she actually built up Feyre into a warrior woman. She's actually no longer this little girl who just came into the Fae totally unprepared, and now she is actually making her own decisions. She's no longer allowing Tomlin to walk over her like she's a nobody, when she's actually a person. She has her own mind. Secondly, I find out that there's a whole bunch of people that I seriously hate in this book. Like Ianthe, I really thought that I would like her at first because she seemed like she was trying to help, and then you just see like, child, what are you doing? No, get out of this book. You're trash. Then continuing on, we also have the Cauldron, which brings even more trouble because now we don't have the Amarantha. Sorry, I had to look to see how I would actually pronounce that. But we don't have Amarantha anymore to pretend to be a villain when really she was just basically a mortal princess. So it's just one of those things where it's just like, who's gonna be our villain now? And then once you find out who the villain is, and the person that stabs Feyre in the back, you will never see it coming. Like, I usually predict all plots. I predicted Divergent, I predicted Hunger Games, and then I see this and I'm just like, what just happened? Like, that's not allowed to happen. And then it makes me hate one character even more than I already do. So either way, I personally give this book 5 stars out of 5 stars, and I think that you should totally read it. If you are into a great plot building, great character building, there is a complete character arc, and we're not even finished with the series. A great fantasy series by Sarah J. Maas. I totally recommend this to anyone who's interested in a great fantasy series. And yeah, that's all for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you actually want to see my full review that has no rambling in it, check out my blog post that is linked down below, and it is at simplyavlon.blogspot.com, just in case you were wondering my blog's URL. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and bye!
You don't gotta go to work. Everybody do the work. We can work from home.